ChowDownChou or random gaming, depending on what you're watching.
Hello, welcome to ChowDownChou. That's the name of my podcast. And today we got Rachel with us, a fellow YouTube sensation. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel, also a UC Berkeley grad. And like Derek mentioned, I also post videos on YouTube.
Yeah, a real YouTuber, finally, once and for all. And so you reached out to me and you said you were going to do a video on international students and their experiences at Berkeley. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea for us to record this thing, and we can, get the videos up at the same time. As you say, get some cross viewership. So how has that video been, and what is the idea behind the video? How did you get to that idea?
Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, I'm definitely focused a lot about like lifestyle videos, but also UC Berkeley related and college advice related videos. And so I thought something that would be interesting because I just posted an out of state advice video for UC Berkeley students since I'm originally from Maryland going to school in California. I thought that doing a follow-up video about international student advice for UC Berkeley students would be something that a lot of people on the internet would want to hear about and learn about Berkeley students' experiences. So obviously I thought of Derek to participate in that, and I think the video, especially with everything going on in the world right now, will hopefully allow a lot of international students to gain some insight about the college application process if they are looking to go to the United States or to other countries besides their home country.
Gotcha. And were there any like personal takeaways from the video? Like, because since you're not an international student, after you watch everyone's like submissions of the clips, were there any like personal takeaways, something that like shocked you that you never really thought about?
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of things were like really fascinating to hear about. Just the whole college application process for being an international student was something that was really interesting and something that like I never really thought of when applying to colleges because there's just like so many other documents, paperwork, a visa you have to get.
Yeah.
And so that was really interesting. And for like some students, a lot of people in their home country don't actually leave their country for college versus like in the United States a lot of people like stay in the United States as well. So I thought that was interesting how it does vary from country to country whether people go more international or stay in their home country for college.
Gotcha. All right. So that was a brief introduction of the upcoming video on her channel. So if you're interested, links down below. Check out the description. Smash that like button and all of that. But I know that you've been doing YouTube for I think a while now, right? I was just wondering, why you got started and what kept you going. How was it like balancing between like making videos in school? Because I didn't have the motivation to do anything while I was at school besides taking naps. So I just wanted to get to know how you kept that going, because that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like balancing schoolwork and any kind of extracurricular activity is definitely a lot of time management that you have to look into. And that goes for like YouTube or other clubs or even a job that students might be working. And so for me, yeah, I started posting content regularly on my Rachel Lind YouTube channel about, I guess, a little bit over 2 years ago. So it was the summer after my sophomore year of college when I started back on YouTube. Ever since like middle school, I was posting videos on the internet though. So back in the day, I would have like these little music videos that I would be posting and then sort of felt like self-conscious about it. So I stopped in
Okay.
like middle and high school. So that's sort of a bummer now thinking back on it. But then I got back into it during college and I was like, who cares what anyone else thinks? If you're passionate about something, whether it's like YouTube, sports, or doing anything like that, then I think you should just go for it. And for me, I have a video that's coming up or just posted on my channel talking about like my YouTube journey. And it actually took 2 years to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So it was definitely a lot of hard work and a long process of posting videos regularly. And so definitely, if you're not maybe seeing the results that you want, but you are interested in like posting videos on YouTube, then you have to just keep going. And like, it's a long process. So I highly recommend you keep going through it, and your hard work will pay off. And like, all my viewers are all so nice and so sweet commenting on videos. And so I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, honestly, that's great advice because for someone who's just like literally just starting out, it's like pretty frustrating that, oh, like, why is this like random? Like, I would see stuff on my homepage, it's just a random like pirated video, and it would have like millions of views, and I'll be like, okay, so why am I doing this? You know, I'm getting nothing out of it. But like you said, like I like what I'm doing and I have the time to do it. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like you said, it's gonna be a journey and it's all gonna pay off. So that's just great advice. Motivational stuff, you know. And by the way, you said you have a video on your YouTube journey.
Yeah, so I have a few videos talking about like getting to 1,000 subscribers, like why I started a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and then the video that's coming up, I guess it be already posted by the time that this podcast video is up, is talking about like YouTube monetization and making money on YouTube. So if that's something you're interested in and like making it more into a business, I think
Yeah.
that's what is super fascinating about YouTube, how people can make YouTube their full-time job, which I find so interesting.
Yeah, they can. And I heard from a lot of these big YouTubers also share their story. And it's sort of at some point you have to, at least from what I heard, you have to make the decision to either like just pursue YouTube full time or like just do it as a hobby if you really want to make money off of it. Is that something that you've noticed? Like how if you really want to seriously grow it in the business, you kind of have to pour everything into it?
Yeah, I think I agree with that sentiment, and you can probably say your opinions on it as well. But I definitely think if you want to see growth and you want to see like people coming to your channel, you definitely have to put in the time and the effort to create videos and not create crappy videos, because I definitely think if you're creating content just for the sake of like trying to get big or trying to get rich and famous off of YouTube, I think the viewers and people on the internet can totally see through that. So like they're not going to like, they're not going to comment, they're not going to subscribe when they can see through that facade. So I really think, yeah, it's definitely hard work, and you have to truly be passionate about it and be posting regular content, because
Gotcha.
even I'm learning so much right now about like the YouTube analytics and
Mm.
getting recommended on YouTube. And so if
Yeah.
you're a page that like isn't posting regularly, YouTube isn't going to recommend your content. So I
Gotcha.
find that really interesting. Yeah, YouTube is sort of risky, I feel like, if you're trying to get into it as a full-time job.
Hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Very risky. I mean, how about for like people just starting out? For people that are just starting out like me, what is your advice on like how to grow your community, or what are the things that you have to make sure you keep doing? Either that's like posting video regularly or like whatever.
Yeah, I definitely think posting videos regularly, definitely also maybe like reaching out to people that you're friends with who maybe
Mm.
you know from like middle school, high school, college, posting it on Instagram or Facebook to sort of get that early traction of people coming to your channel. And definitely that's something that I'm maybe not the best at, like putting stuff on my other social media accounts
Yeah.
to get like people that I know in real life to like come watch, because that can sort of, be a little nerve-wracking or be a little
Good.
embarrassing. And like
Yep.
honestly, yeah, it's sort of hard, but you can't care about what other people think so much that it like
Definitely.
debilitates you from like doing what you love. So yeah, doing that. And then also I think having good thumbnails and good titles is also a great way to get people to click on your videos, because
Yeah.
that's also something I'm learning, is that like with YouTube analytics as well, like you need people to click on your videos and you need a high retention rate, also like known as high watch time, in order for YouTube to recommend your videos to other people. So
Mhm.
those are
Okay.
3 tips to help grow. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I will try doing that. I mean, I'm not the best at posting any stuff on my social media. I'm sure you haven't noticed that I haven't been advertising anything, and like you said, it could be a little bit intimidating. But at some point you gotta not care about what other people think. So I'm gonna be posting it real soon.
Can't wait to see that, Derek.
Yeah. All right. All right. I can't wait to see all the helpful and supporting comments down below. Commenting on my shitty sound quality, all of that. Yeah, I have some great friends. Anyway, so
It's all
yeah,
comments though, so it'll work out.
yeah. I'm sure it'll work out. So you mentioned at the top of the video that you're currently in Maryland, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how are things there? Because I haven't heard too much news coming out of that state. I just want to know how the atmosphere is, surrounding the pandemic, and how people are recepting it, all of that.
Yeah, so that's a really great question. I feel like I'm not the best person to ask, honestly, because I really don't leave my house. After coming back
That's
from
good though.
Berkeley.
That's good
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
What are
yeah.
we supposed to do with that? Okay.
Yes, I'm one of the social distancers. Like after coming back from Berkeley in March when classes went online, I've been living with my parents. So, yeah, I really don't leave the house. But looking from the news, it seems that Maryland is doing sort of well. I guess right
Right.
now in the news, I'm seeing a lot about like states like Florida and Texas having a lot of high rising numbers. So I think compared maybe to those, but yeah, I think all of my news is from the news,
Yeah,
not from like personal vision of seeing things.
gotcha. Like, but what about like your surrounding community? Like maybe your family, friends, or your immediate family. Are they like treating this as a real thing, or are there still family members that are like, you know what, screw it, it's probably a hoax or whatever? Like, how's the atmosphere like?
Yeah, I definitely think from like my parents and like their siblings, so like extended family, everyone seems to be taking everything super seriously. So, yeah, I haven't really heard a lot about like them fighting over the phone or like discussing anything over the phone like that. But I think everyone in our family and it seems like neighbors and stuff are taking it seriously. Maybe a few months ago, we saw like the neighbors would be doing powwows outside or like all
Hmm,
standing around like the court and like talking to each other, but that has since stopped and like no one's been throwing parties,
gotcha.
so it seems to be good.
That's good because I've had conversations with other people on my podcast as well, and I always ask them this question, and a lot of them have been saying like their neighborhoods, a lot of people don't like actually believe that this virus is a real thing, and like a bunch of the restaurants would be like, "Oh, you can't wear a mask when you come in," and I don't know, that just seems stupid to me. So glad everyone out there in Maryland is staying safe, and you know that's good.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I definitely think on like social media, we see a lot of people who
Yeah.
maybe aren't following their state's guidelines or they aren't social distancing. So it's definitely interesting to see two sides of the same coin and like people that are at bars and stuff right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like are you trying to get it? It's not gonna help you. Anyways, um, how I think you mentioned you were in Berkeley until March when classes went online. So how was that time like? I'm really interested in finding out like how the last like a week or two before everything like change was like. Was there like could people sense it that it was coming? Like how was the atmosphere on
Mm.
campus? Were people already leaving, and like were people wearing masks? Were like I don't know. Were you afraid to like get in contact with people before they shut everything down? Like, how were the last few weeks like, and how did you handle like having to like move away so quickly and like pack up everything? And especially since we're both RAs, I also am very interested in finding out how that process was like how you just get to leave. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think it all really happened so quickly. Like literally it was like a Monday and then they canceled classes and then maybe like Tuesday or like the Monday they told us that classes would be online until spring break, and then a few weeks later like during spring break or right before spring break they told us that classes would be online for the rest of the semester.
Gosh.
So that was like 1 week before spring break, so it all really happened in like a 1 week 2 week period, so it was
Mm,
all very very fast when everything went from like in person to online, which is really great, I guess, that the school was able to make these decisions so quickly in such like times of uncertainty. So yeah, for me, definitely hearing that, and especially being the week before spring break that classes went online, my friends and I actually had a trip planned to go to Mexico City over spring break, and then obviously like we canceled that, and then we're trying to get our money back from the flights.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then I booked a flight to come home, and then literally I moved out of my dorm room in 5 days. And so it was definitely very different from than if we graduated in May of 2020, because I would have had like family come and help me move out of the dorm and like help me bring suitcases to help
Yeah.
fly stuff across the country to come back home. But yeah, no, I had like 3 suitcases. And I was like, oh, I have to move all my crap across the country. Like, this is stressful.
It
It was
is.
a wild time.
Yeah. So I can imagine Berkeley being like very in panic. Like everyone's booking flights home and you can't even get an Uber. Like, is that the case? Like you just see people with
Mm.
suitcases on the side of the road like all day, kind of.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that like Berkeley definitely filed out really quickly
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
living in the dorms, we could see all of our residents leaving, or just walking
Yeah.
through the entrance. People were all moving
Yeah.
out, and like their families, if they were from in state or close by, would all drive up, and then they were gone. It was like, oh, I guess bye, see you never kind of thing. But a lot of students did move out during that time. Berkeley sort of just like walking on campus, since
Yeah.
campus is still technically open and you can walk on it. Like there was no one
There's
around.
no
It
one
was
there.
really, yeah, it was really wild to see how much of like an empty zone it became, especially
Yeah.
because like you can probably attest how crowded Berkeley
Yep.
usually is on a day-to-day basis. So it was really interesting to see how everyone just sort of left in like a 5-day span.
Gotcha. Yeah, it must be super weird. I mean, but what about like since we're both RAs, how was that process? Like did you have to stay like extra long? Like did they require you to stay until like almost a spring break or like how was that process? Like did they just send you an email saying like, "Oh, you can go whenever you want," or like how was that process?
Yeah, so the Berkeley Residential Life Department was actually like really great during this time, and they let
That's
RAs
very uncommon to hear. It's a phrase
they
not uttered often.
yeah, they let the RAs either like choose
Yeah.
to stay in the role as an RA, and you could do it virtually if you wanted to, or you can quit and like move out, and then you don't have any more responsibilities. And they also got rid of duty for the end of spring semester. So usually RAs are on call. You have to answer the phone if there's like a lockout or an emergency or something like that, but they suspended all of those responsibilities. So it was really good for people that wanted to stay in the role and have the housing, but also good for people like me who wanted to move back home. And then I sort of like rescinded all of my RA
Gotcha.
responsibilities.
Well, it was your last semester before you graduated, though. I wonder how it will be like for like people that want to continue on the role. Like, could they just move back home? Like, how was that? Like, if you just move back home, does that mean you don't have a job? Like, when you come back for the next semester, how did that work?
Yeah, I think for fall 2020, they are saying that you have to live in the dorms at
Mhm.
Berkeley in order to be an RA. So it's no more like virtual things anymore, like we were offered in the
Gotcha.
spring. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know how that would go though, because isn't that kind of shitty? Because like it's for your own safety that you don't want to be in close contact with people. Plus, who knows how many people are going to be back on campus anyways? Like maybe there will only be like one unit left full of people because there's not going to be that many people that are actually coming to campus, so they're not going to need that many RAs. I don't know. It's a tricky situation.
Yeah, I definitely think it puts a lot of students who like maybe want to live in the dorm and have that freshman year experience or transfer
Yeah,
year experience, but like might not feel safe doing so, but they really want to have that experience. They're put in a difficult situation, and
yeah,
definitely also puts like the resident assistants in difficult situations. Like, do you choose to have a job and have housing, or do you choose not to have a job and then not have housing in Berkeley where the rent prices are like astronomically expensive?
yeah.
So I think it's like a really hard situation for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can imagine that. It's got to be a very tricky situation to navigate. But speaking of freshmen going back to Berkeley, I want to get to know a little bit about your future plans. It's been a while since we talked, and since that time we both graduated, and I just want to know what you've been up to or what you plan on doing. Are you going to stay in the East Coast area? Are you going to come back to the West Coast? What are your plans?
Yeah, so right now I have been applying to jobs, and then I've also been studying to retake the LSAT. So that has been taking up most of my time this summer, as well as like doing YouTube stuff. So that's pretty much my day. When I stay home all the time, I like study LSAT and then do my side projects at the nighttime hours.
Yeah.
So that's what, I've been applying to stuff East Coast and West Coast. So, we'll see what happens.
Alright.
A lot of stuff seems to be online right now. So even
Yeah,
if it's on the West Coast, I might be on the East Coast still.
makes sense. When are you taking the LSAT? Do you have like a date set? You just sort of going through that final mile.
Not yet. When I took the LSAT last year in the fall, I like picked the date and then studied backwards from that date. And
Yeah.
then I wasn't necessarily happy with my score. So this time I'm going to study forwards. And whenever I start to score consistently in like the range that I want to be in, then
Yes,
I'll sign up for a test date. So trying the opposite end of the spectrum this time.
definitely trying out a different strategy. I mean, I studied for the GMAT. I was studying for the GMAT, so that took up like a couple months of my extended hiatus because I've been home since uh like January, so it's been a while. I did my army service that lasted like 4 months, and then I studied the GMAT, and that's what led us to now. And I just started like this whole YouTube podcast thing, like right after I got done with everything. So I admire your ability to, study and do it at the same time because I just don't think I have that kind of focus. My mind can only focus on one thing. So kudos.
No, that's also really, really good. Quarantine, definitely a time to start some hobbies.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like this is the best time to start it. I was like, wow, this is like the ideal time to like start something like this. Well, speaking of like starting new hobbies, have you started any new hobbies? Like I don't know, like hiking, baking, stuff like that. I heard a lot of people get into baking. So
Mm.
have you?
And since I don't leave my house, I
Yeah.
would like to do some more hiking and stuff. I think that would be cool. But, I'm like a total homebody now. I love staying at home. It's great. I can stay at home for a long time and not feel like sad about going outside. So, not really hiking the front anytime soon. But I
That's
think for just like side personal projects, we talked about it briefly before starting the recording. But I am actually starting a business. So we'll see. It's a college consulting and college application essay review business. So that should be launching in like early August or so, is what I'm hoping. Currently trying to get a team together of UC Berkeley students who would be reading the essays and doing the one-on-one calls. So that's
gotcha.
also been a project that I'm working on, and I'm super excited because, I love giving advice. I love talking to prospective students or even Berkeley students who want to get some more advice or experience from older students. So yeah, I'll definitely have Derek put a link for an interest form to fill out if you are interested
All
in
right.
learning about it and getting the launch email once the website goes live.
Yep. For any prospective, high achievers out there who are watching this podcast, yeah, shoot Rachel an email and get your essay reviewed. It's important. Anyways, so yeah, I have been starting baking actually. So
Mm.
I started baking brownies and cookies. So that's what I've been up to during quarantine.
You
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you can diversify your channel and start a baking channel like ChowDownChou Baking. That like literally works.
I know,
You
I
should
know.
start posting some content on that.
Yeah, but yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that first because right now I'm just staying in what I already have figured out. Because I'm sure like to start like a whole different kind of video, you have to like you don't even know how to do it. Like if you tell me to like vlog, I have no clue how to do that. So, I'll figure it out. Hopefully I'll get something going.
Yeah,
But
can't wait to see it.
all right, I'll let you know once the first baking video is up, the tutorial for a bomb ass brownie cake or something like that.
Oh,
Anyway,
amazing.
anyway, so have you like throughout quarantine, were there any like silver linings? Were there things that you discovered, oh, hey, like then maybe this whole quarantine is a good thing? Like besides from further developing your YouTube channel, have you like discovered any, I don't know, any new interests or stuff like that?
Yeah, I think definitely just learning to appreciate being with family more. So
Yeah.
after coming back, I've been with family since March. And I think if everything were like a normal college graduation, I might not have been
No.
able to spend so much time with family. So I think that's something that is a silver lining, that even though like we are quarantining and social distancing, that like you do get to spend quality time with family. And especially for us, Derek, in like such a pivotal time in our life when we're probably going to start moving out, getting
Yeah.
full-time jobs, and like not being able to see family as often, I think this is a good time, perfect time to be able to reconnect with family members.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like getting more time with my family is something I appreciate a lot because, like, as you know, I've been away for like 4 years, and you know, now I get a time at home that's like like such an extended time at home. So it's pretty amazing. I guess that is one thing that's good. But um, speaking of like this whole pandemic response, I don't know if you've heard anything about like how Taiwan is handling it, but we're actually handling it really well. So while I talk to a lot of people who are like in quarantine, I can't really relate to them because technically, like, I'm not in quarantine. Like, we can still go out, we can still go to like malls, we can watch movies. I don't know, but yeah, have you heard anything about like us handling the virus?
I think that's really interesting to hear about how like other countries
Yeah,
are handling the virus. Like we
yeah,
mentioned at the beginning with the international student Q&A, there's someone on the Q&A that is from Spain, and then he was saying that he was like traveling to Barcelona kind of thing. So it's like people are in other places going out. They have maybe gone more back to normalcy. So I think it's really interesting. And I sent you that one video
yeah,
about
yeah.
Taiwan doing like fake airport rides and
Yep.
fake plane rides for people that are like feeling maybe claustrophobic in their house.
Yeah, but I don't know why they do that. I mean, we people still go out like all the time. Like, it's not even a big deal because we don't have any like domestic cases anymore. So people are starting to
Oh,
lose their
wow.
masks, and people are like traveling. Like, I'm planning a trip with my friends next weekend. Of course, you can only travel like within the border, but still, like, you can travel around and go outside your house. So it's I don't know. For me, it's a pretty stark difference to see how well a country can handle it and like how poorly a country can handle it. If I look at some of my friends back in the U.S., especially I have some friends in Florida and California that they reopened and they have to shut down
Mhm.
again because the cases kept going up. So it's pretty interesting to see. I mean, it's honestly, like, for us, like, everyone started wearing masks immediately, like right after the outbreak, and I don't get
Yeah.
why that is so hard for people over there, but it is.
Yeah, I definitely think it's sort of sad how the United States has definitely politicized
Oh yeah.
multiple issues with like Black Lives Matter and with like coronavirus, and they've made it sort of into a political thing when it's really like human rights and basic decencies. Like, I don't know, that's just like a lot that is happening right now that I feel like should not be made political.
Yeah, it shouldn't be political at all. Like, I don't get how that started anyways, like how that started getting politicized anyways. Like, isn't it just about like stopping the spread of the disease? I'm sure, like, back, I don't know, do people just think like wearing masks looks stupid? Uh, anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not a good time right now. Well, I'm sure you've been in contact with some of your RA friends back in Berkeley. And how was it like being an RA, like during the last few weeks of school, and how do you imagine it would look like once the new semester starts? Like, were you really afraid to get in contact with your residents because they might have COVID, or yeah, how did it look like during the last few weeks?
Yeah, I definitely think in the last few weeks of the spring semester, people were like they were social distancing, but maybe not as like knowledgeable about everything that's going on right now because of like all the news that wasn't coming out. But now I feel like a lot of students are knowledgeable about like the risks and what everything does mean. So I think
Yeah,
for fall semester, it'll be really interesting to see what happens if cases do rise in the Berkeley community, because
mm,
it seems like I keep getting emails of like new cases found. It was
yeah,
like 25 new cases in 1 week kind
yeah,
of thing. So I wonder how the university will handle the increased rise of cases, especially in the residence halls,
yeah,
because like you're living in such close quarters, especially if you're in like the communal bathroom style where you have to share a bathroom with maybe like 20 to 40 other students, depending how many people are living on the floor. So
yeah.
I'm really interested to see how like Berkeley, but also other universities are going to handle like an outbreak or something if
Yeah.
something does happen.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I with college students, I just think it's a matter of like honestly, like when an outbreak's gonna happen. Like I think it's really, really hard to avoid it. Like once school gets start back up, if everyone does choose to go back to campus, it's gonna be a matter of time before like someone throws a stupid party and everyone gets like COVID. So just putting that out there. That's what I think. Anyways, but I've heard about the protocols in place. I'm sure like you've heard from some of your RA buddies about how like starting next semester everyone's going to be like in a single, I think, and there's not going to be like any guests allowed. I don't know. If you were a freshman and you got all this information, would you have chosen to like come to campus in the first place? Like what do you think like prospective freshmen, what are they going to do?
That's a good question. I think I don't know, for me as an out of state student, I think I would stay home and take the semester online and not live in university housing, because I think like for a college, you can always try to move into university housing like your second year. So maybe next fall in fall 2021, then things in your freshman year experience would be maybe going back to the quote unquote normal college experience. But I think like when you're not allowed to have big group gatherings, you're not going to have sports games, you're not going to have like club recruiting, and you're probably not going to be able to like hang out in your dorm lounge and talk
Yeah,
to people and meet new friends. Like
yeah,
for me as an out of state student, I don't think it's worth the money, because you're definitely not getting that freshman year experience, especially
definitely.
because the majority of classes are online. I think a lot of students might consider staying home and saving that money and then trying to live on campus next year.
Yeah, but just staying home too, it's not worth the money. Like out of state tuition for like full online classes
Yeah.
doesn't seem that like economical to me, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think out of state international, maybe then considering taking a gap year or something,
Yeah,
because yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
like 40,000 if you're not paying for housing for online classes. I don't think online classes are equivalent to in-person classes, especially for
Yeah,
like a Berkeley education.
exactly. Like if you're especially for like smaller classes, there's no way you can do that like over Zoom, like that personal interaction. So yeah, I probably would have taken a gap year to be honest if I was a freshman right now. So glad like we graduated like right over that hump, I guess. Well, one thing that's I don't know, one thing that I kind of feel regretful is that we didn't get a graduation, because I thought that was a very important aspect that I was really
Mhm.
really looking forward to, but we didn't get it. So I don't know, how do you feel about that? And do you think they're going to hold a graduation like down the line since they're just technically postponing it?
I guess we'll see. It's really interesting because like May 2020 graduation got canceled, and then they announced that they would maybe try to have it in the summer or in the like winter or in the next spring, which it seems like it's probably either going to be next spring, so like spring 2021, and they would invite the class of 2020 to come, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I would go attend because you're a whole year out of college. People are probably moving out of the Bay Area. It'd be a lot of money to like come back
Fly
and
in.
invite your
Yeah.
whole family to come back. Yeah. So I think it is a real big bummer because I feel like we don't know, but I feel like a lot of people would be missing out on that graduation experience by postponing it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I thought if they could, like, since I'm gonna be in the Bay Area anyways, like if they like hold a graduation, I'll still go. But I feel like since a lot of people are not gonna be in the Bay Area, and you don't know how many
Mhm.
people are like willing to spend that money or can take the time off work to like
Yeah.
fly across country, like you're gonna miss out on like a whole bunch of your friends or like a bunch of your acquaintances, and it's just not gonna be the same. Plus, if you like combine this with like the next graduating class, it's like hella weird. Like we're all like professionals already, and you're coming to see a bunch of kids, and they're graduating, they're happy, we're not. You know, it just seems like a weird experience. But I also don't think like an online graduation
Mm.
would like suffice because it literally has no meaning. Like I don't know, have you seen any of the online graduations for like other colleges?
I haven't watched other colleges, but I went to the, like, Berkeley Minecraft one and,
Mm,
like,
okay.
saw those guest speakers. That was really weird, and
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
it's just awkward. And like for other colleges, they have like they basically just make like a huge live stream where every
Oh.
graduating student gets to like put like a small message on the stream, which I'm like, sure, that doesn't seem, that doesn't seem fun.
I guess it's like normal graduation where it's, like, really boring until, like, your slide comes up or you cross the stage. Otherwise, it's like, who the heck are all these other random people I've, like, never met in my life?
I know exactly, and it's not just about the graduation; it's about like before it and like after it, celebrating with friends and family. Like
Mhm.
that's what matters, right? So maybe that is
Yeah.
kind of sucks that we don't have it, but hey, I'm sure a lot of people are suffering, way worse. So we shouldn't complain, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of students are missing out on that celebratory experience,
Yeah,
especially for people who like maybe are first generation or like they already
yeah,
booked their tickets and like they were non-refundable kind of thing. And just a year later, it seems like the timing would just be sort of off. Like you said, that we are getting a little bit too old
oh
to be
yeah.
crossing the stage, but definitely like a lot of people are missing out on that celebratory moment. Like it's a big accomplishment to graduate from
It
college.
is. It is definitely. I feel you. All right. Well, let's get away from the depressing stuff for a while. I feel like we've been on a streak of depressing topics for like 10 minutes. So I want to go back to your journey on YouTube. So what is the process that goes into making a racial lit video? How long do you typically like gather the footages or like shoots the video, and how long do you like edit it? What kind of software do you use? I want to get a
Mm.
sneak peek inside the curtains.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think like right now I've been posting 2 videos a week. And so like during the school year, I would only be posting 1 video a week. And like you alluded to, definitely when you're like balancing classes and work and doing your hobby as YouTube on the side, definitely I think maybe less time went into YouTube than I would have liked because you
Yeah,
have to balance so many other things. But now I definitely have a lot more free time and I can choose to spend the time how I want to spend it. So
yeah,
I think I would definitely say like I spend as much time as like a part-time job on YouTube, definitely filming since it's a lot of like sit down videos, it's not like vlogs or like going out. So
yeah,
just usually like me sitting in front of the camera talking, like maybe getting some B-roll footage,
mm,
probably takes like an hour or so to film a video. And then it's like the editing I think takes a really, really
oh yeah,
long time.
oh yeah,
And sometimes, yeah, I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do it. I put it off because it's sort of tedious after a
it
while
is.
making all of these little cuts. And so that part is like maybe 3 to 5 hours
Oh
depending
yeah,
on like what kind or how long of a video it is. And
definitely.
so for video editing software, I use Sony Vegas and I know a lot of people use like Final Cut Pro or
Final
iMovie
Cut,
if you have a Mac. Yeah.
yeah, or like Adobe Premiere. I've been
Mhm.
using Premiere for a while. It's just hard to learn, and I think video editing in itself is just a thing that has a very like high learning curve, and you're constantly discovering like new stuff you can do, or you're constantly running into problems that you want to do
Mhm.
this but you have no clue how to do a certain operation. So for me, like you said, it's definitely like the part that takes the most time, like compared to anything else. It's like quadruple the time you spend like actually creating the content. That's what I think a lot of people like don't understand. That's why a lot of people have editors, look at all these like
Oh.
video game channels. I've tried editing video games like blooper, like funny moments videos. It takes me like 4 hours just like going through like my stream and like going through all that. It's horrible. So I'm gonna hire an editor as long as I have the money, as long as I get that income. First thing, hire an editor.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
Yeah,
Definitely. There is a learning curve, I think, too, like editing softwares, because it's like a whole new coding language, basically, but sort of
yeah,
like drag and drop. But like finding effects that you want, how to do transitions, how to add music, or like make the background noise softer than your other noise. Like it's a lot of work. And definitely, I think maybe that's where people get dissuaded from starting a YouTube channel or
mm,
making videos, because it takes a lot of dedication and time to put into learning a whole new editing software, which is sort of
definitely.
why I've stuck with one software throughout my entire time. Like,
Just
I don't
easy.
know, I don't think I could learn a new one. It's just too
Yeah.
much, and then all the buttons are in different places.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I started out using iMovie, and but like I genuinely like enjoy the editing process. I don't know if a lot of people feel that way. Like when I'm like editing, like I laugh at my
Mhm.
own stuff and like I'm actually like in it, like I enjoy it, but it just takes a lot of time. And it takes like you can't like for me, I can't really like quit it and then come back to it because then
Oh,
I
yeah,
lose
yeah.
like what it's all about, right? So you have to do it in one sitting, and that's like half of your day gone, right? So this is the best time to do it because anytime else, like if you have a job and stuff like that, like you're not gonna have like 5 hours to just edit. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. When I start editing, I need to finish. If I have to stop halfway through for some reason, like I cannot, like it really, really bothers me. Like I need to dedicate time and just sit there and do it. And yeah, similarly, I really like the editing process and being able to have this idea and then make it come to life in the editing process. Because when you're filming, it's just like you talking or just clips or stuff like that. But when you actually edit it together and like create that story and create that montage, like it's really, really awesome to see how the final product turns out. And so like that's the cool thing about it, is like you're creating something from nothing, which I really like.
yeah, definitely. Do you have like a 1,000 subscriber giveaway? Can I enter now? Is it too late? It's like an Amazon gift card online.
No, I did not. I think for 10,000.
Oh,
So
for
we need
10,000.
some subscribers. Yes.
Need some more subscribers. Or just yeah. Well, hey, I'm having a 30 subscriber giveaway. So if you want if you want to join,
Oh
I'll be
yeah,
doing
I'm
that.
subscribed. How do I enter?
I have no clue, and that's just a joke, by the
Oh, sorry.
way. 30 subscribers? Come on, that's that's embarrassing. I know a Family Guy pirating like, video channel that I'm subscribed to that has like 1 million subscribers. So it's
Oh
still a long
wow.
way to go. You know. Anyways, so um, I think you said your mom was Taiwanese, right? Has she been in contact with any of like her old family or friends? Like, has she heard anything from
Mm.
Taiwan? Any plans of coming back since we're pandemic free?
Yeah, I think a lot of her family is moved to the United States, but I
Yeah.
definitely think she wants to go back in the future. And then like my grandpa might is potentially looking into moving there for retirement, or like I guess he's already retired, but like just moving there for
Okay.
like for older people to
Yeah.
live. So I guess we'll see, because, family moves out there, then that's perfect reason to go visit
Oh
and
yeah,
then
definitely.
travel.
Yeah. Always plug in Taiwanese tourism. That's like the biggest thing now. It's like since we don't have the pandemic, but it's hard for like anyone to leave their countries now. So like no one can come. Like I don't even know if there are like flights leaving the country. Like how can you get? I don't know. Have you heard anyone like traveling to like Europe or like traveling out of the states? I feel like that's impossible at this point.
Yeah, I haven't heard any like international travels. Even from like tour guiding, we have some international students, and one person was mentioning that like she can't even come back to Berkeley because there's no flights from her home country to like
Mm,
SFO or Oakland. So like
yeah,
even if she wanted to live on campus or wherever, she couldn't. So yeah, I don't know. And I think even if you're traveling abroad, there might be like mandatory 2-week quarantine
yeah,
when
like
you
quarantine.
land, and
Yeah.
then I feel like that can get sort of expensive.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's even a quarantine when you're coming into the United States because I started my
Yeah.
job in like October. I looked it up and they were like, "Oh, if you're coming from like overseas, you have to like stay home for like 2 weeks before you can go out, right?" And for me, that seems kind of stupid because when I'm traveling from Taiwan to the U.S., like I'm the one in risk of getting COVID over there. Like, why do you want me in my house? Like, I would want to stay in my house for my own safety. A lot of people over there have it.
So I
All
guess
right.
it works out both ways, but I'm surprised that they're still making you like it's in-person work in October and it's not remote.
Oh, it is remote, but my company still said like you have to be in the U.S. when it starts. I don't know if there's like a some kind of a legal matter or like
Mm,
um time difference. They have to think about all of that, and plus they want you like to like relocate as soon as they start in person work. So they probably don't want you to use that as an excuse to like not go back to the country for a while. But it still
okay.
seems kind of dangerous to me because I have no clue what the situation over in California is, and I don't know. Like like I'm getting anxiety that I'm gonna catch COVID, like if I go there, or like sit on a plane because I feel like that's like a very high risk like environment. I don't know. It's
Yeah, and even just the whole moving process is stressful. Like, you have to get all these materials, move into a place, so get groceries
oh
and
yeah,
just yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And like finding a place, like you're gonna have to like find a place. That means you're gonna have to do like house tours, and then like yeah, it's just getting acclimated to like your surroundings and like setting everything up, like buying furniture and all of that. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a pain, but you know, right now I'm just taking it like a day at a time, and I'll figure it out when I like actually get there. Because I think there's no use of like worrying right now, because who knows like when in person work will like
Mm.
actually start. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go like stay at one of my relatives' house until they want me back in San Francisco. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's smart.
Oh yeah, definitely save some money. But so is what I'm looking at like your studio basically? Like, is this the background where you usually film your videos, or
No, this is just like in the dining room.
gotcha? Do you have
Yeah,
like
I
a
don't
green
know.
screen or stuff like that? I don't know.
Yeah, we do have a green screen, but yeah, right now
Ooh.
this is just like a shelf and just
Oh
like the
yeah,
wall
yeah, I can see. Yeah, I
in
can
the
see
background.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
You do have a
So,
green screen, huh? So
yes.
how do you? I've never used one. How is it, and what do you usually like put on it? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really like use it right now. I feel like I used it
Gotcha.
more in like middle and high school for like
Mm,
fun random video stuff, but
gotcha.
like you would film in front of the green screen, and I think the difficult part about green screens is that you have to have the lighting be like super even across the entire background, otherwise like you can't
With
edit
the
it out
patches. Yeah.
properly. Yeah, where it's like all like really weird in the background. So the lighting has to be consistent, which is like super hard because you need to like buy lights to aim it
Mm,
at yourself. So like
that's
the
true.
TikTokers nowadays.
They all have
But
like different lights.
yeah, with all
Yeah,
those ring
yeah, yeah,
lights.
yeah.
And
Do
so
you
then
own a
you
ring
like
light? Hang on.
no, I
Oh,
wanna I'm thinking I'm like
of buying
maybe
one.
gonna invest, but then they're so big, I don't want to have to like move with one. So I
Mm.
was like, maybe I'll buy one after
How much
or
is
when I move.
is like
I haven't looked into it, but I think it would be a good investment. So that's what I'm going to look into.
yeah, it's got to be like at least a couple $100s, right? Because they're huge. And
Yeah, so that's why it's like I don't wanna move with that.
and they probably come in a set too, because you can't just have light come from one place. Isn't it typically like both sides? I don't know.
Yeah, probably comes with 2 or, like, the ring lights that are just, like,
in the
Center
center.
ones.
Yeah. It's gonna be like super bright. Like like one day your videos are just gonna be like insanely bright. That's when we know you bought the ring lights.
But then I'm like, yeah, the quality would just become so much better because
Yeah.
sometimes I look at like the color saturation, I'm like, holy crap, this is so bad. And then I have to try to fix it and then it still looks bad. And I'm like, God damn it, this sucks. Yeah.
By the way, what camera do you use?
Mm.
You
So,
have it? Ooh, there we go.
yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah, it's the Canon Vixia HFG30.
It
So
looks
it's
pretty
just like
good.
a normal video camera
Yeah.
because I don't know, a lot of people use like DSLRs and stuff for
Yeah.
videos, but then like they're more photo cameras. So I feel like, I don't know if like the quality would be bad or worse because it's a photo camera and you're using it for video. So this is like a specifically video camera and doesn't do like high quality
Like photos.
photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even invested in a camera yet. I was thinking of buying one, then I'm like, well, I'm not making any money, so why am I why am I spending money? Like you said, so
You got to invest money to make
to make
money.
money, exactly. So yeah, so I gotta start thinking the other way. I gotta pour the money in. But I got my student debt. You know what? I could use the stimulus check. They're handing it out
Mm.
again in August, so maybe I'll use that to buy a camera. Right now, this is all coming from my MacBook webcam. So
I think the quality
hey,
on your Mac is good. I think it's better than my webcam quality when I
it's
watch
not
like
bad.
my
Yeah,
webcam videos over again.
exactly. It's not bad, but you know there are limitations to doing stuff on a laptop. I don't know how you like edit videos, but when I do it, like my computer goes into like it goes into like full panic mode. Like
Oh.
the fan's on, like it's hot as hell, and it's like shutting down. I'm like, yeah, I gotta like what I'm thinking of doing is once I move back is to like actually like build like a serious like
Mhm.
desktop to just do all this work on because I think there's limitations to doing it on the laptop.
Yeah, I agree. And even like making a podcast studio room where people do like the wall in the background or they
Yeah,
get like noise canceling walls so you
yep,
don't really hear an echo and then having the mic and everything. That would be super cool. But yeah,
I
no,
know.
my laptop is like 4 years old. So it
Same.
is super hot. It makes the whirring sound. It's like about to die. I have to close all of my tabs and like I can't use the computer when I'm exporting my video.
Oh yeah,
Otherwise, it doesn't export correctly. So
definitely.
it's like I don't know. It's a huge time waster because then I can't like multitask.
Oh yeah, definitely. And what I'm thinking, well, yeah, I do have plans to like make a studio, but I feel like that would be like once I actually find a place, because like it's no like you said like about like buying the lights thing, you're gonna have to move with
Mhm.
it, and I just
Yeah.
don't think that's like the smart move right now. For now, I'll just like stick with what I have, and we'll figure it out after we get back. So, well, anyways, let's see. I think that's about it. Do we have anything that we missed about
No,
any
I think
topics that we missed?
that's everything.
All right, I'll give you some time to uh, plug your upcoming video, the one that has me in it. I'll
Not
add.
all of my plans for the next month you don't want.
No. That's all good. My viewers don't want to hear that. They're interested in me. Okay, this is my channel.
Yes, Derek is the star of the show.
Thank you.
But yeah, so Derek and I have a video coming out on my channel. If you want to check that out, it will be linked in the description. The same time this video goes live. So if you want to learn more about the university system in the United States, going to college in the United States as an international student from 4 different international students' perspectives about going to college in the US, definitely check that video out. Definitely also check out the interest form link if you want to be notified for when the college essay review business is launching because the team is going to be a bunch of really, really intelligent Berkeley students and graduates of the university. So I think that's a really, really cool project that I'm excited to be working on right now. And definitely check out my channel, subscribe to me if you'd want to see more of my face. And yeah, I'm super excited for this video to go live.
By the way, I look forward to seeing your Facebook and Instagram post when our video goes live. I want to see a tag, okay, and then I'll tag you in mine. Hopefully. if I have the guts to do it when the time comes.
See, that's how you get the viewership.
I know. Like I feel like that's how you get like the initial traction, like you said.
Mhm.
But it's hard for me to pull the trigger because of all
Yeah.
the hurtful comments. You know what? Like Corey and like Yusuf's gonna say to me.
Yeah, I think you have more of that. I feel like the people I know are more like, "Yes, queen, I
Supportive?
love seeing your face," or like, "You rock, girl." Your
No,
people would
no,
be
no,
like
no.
commenting really mean
Yeah,
things as a
yeah.
joke, and then
Like
people
I
would think you're getting bullied on the internet.
oh yeah, like I send a link to my high school students, and like all my comments are like why is the sound quality so shitty? Like, can we get your face off of the camera? Like, it's all of that stuff. So I'm getting abused. I'm hurting inside. But you know
Yeah,
what?
you know,
For the
I see
views,
your
right?
yeah, I see your Facebook like profile picture changes, and then it's all like mean comments.
Oh yes, yeah. See, just
But
great
it's all a
things that
joke.
happen.
So
Yeah,
if the new viewers, if you're watching this and you see mean comments in the description, it's not people that actually dislike Derek or dislike his content. It's actually like super avid, loyal fans that are friends of Derek's and they
attack
really
them,
like him. So like you should
attack
watch
them.
his videos. Yeah.
Thank you for the plug. All right. Well, it's been great talking to you. Hopefully you stay safe over there. And hey, if any more topics come up, we can always do another episode of it. And I'll let you know when everything goes live. I look forward to seeing your video.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Derek. I look
All
forward
right.
to it.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations! You've made it through the video. Now, go subscribe to all the links down below, comment, and hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next one.